And we're recording. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode number 21 of the Winston Boys podcast, exploring wealth, science, and wisdom. And
And now
today, yeah,
Minecraft.
while we're both lagging severely, please don't look at the video in the corner of your screen. Anyway, my name is Kush, and Alex, I guess I'll let you explain this one.
Yeah, so we're kind of just hanging out here playing Minecraft. We're in the middle of finals, and so we couldn't really we didn't want to work too hard at this. So we kind of wanted to come out here and have a little bit of fun and see how you guys like that. So the idea here is basically, so Kush and I always, throughout the course of our friendship, have kind of had this ongoing debate of, kind of capitalism versus, laissez-faire capitalism versus more, market strings attached regulated
Capitalism versus socialism.
Yeah, socialist capitalism is what I would call it. Yeah. I'm not a full-on communist, that's for sure. I think that's pretty inefficient. But so the idea is, I think Kush and I are gonna cuddle up here in our beds. He gets the purple one because blue is manly.
All right, I'm pretty sure we're switching, but I'll take it.
And there we go. And as
right.
soon as in the next day, we're gonna mess around. And so I've got this measly wooden pickaxe, and he's pretty well equipped over here. So he gets this base and his armor and stuff, and I'm gonna go off over here and try to make myself a new base and fight him and win.
Okay, so wait, hold on. I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly. So I'm defending capitalism and
oh wait, actually, I guess I should probably have that nice stuff, and you should go defend capitalism with the crappy pickaxe, huh?
yeah, but
Okay.
my argument. Let me just make this clear. My argument was never that these things are fair. I never said that I never said the world should be fair or
Here,
that
drop
it
all
is
your
fair.
stuff. I'm the defender. Yeah,
No. But I'm saying this example is flawed because I don't like what is the argument that's being made with this? Is it that is it to see if someone can beat you if you start out with a lot of stuff?
So I mean, I guess the point is that I think that what's fairly efficient in a system is like a meritocracy of some sort, in which the people who are better at things end up doing those things, right? Or at least, people with skills end up with high skill jobs. You know what I mean? So like if I'm the best doctor, I should be the doctor, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm the best farmer, I should be the farmer, right? Oh no, there's a creeper. Holy cow. That's not good. I just got creeper exploded. But so I guess my point here is I think that the very nature of this type of capitalism is kind of, the type of capitalism you like is a little bit counterproductive to its stated goals of efficiency. Oh my God, why are all the I got lots of undead trying to kill me.
Yeah, we're like in the middle of the woods.
Yeah,
so.
I'm just gonna
but yeah, keep going because I'm still not following what the
so my point that's my kind of, I guess that's my overall argument against laissez-faire capitalism is that not only is it cruel to some people because they don't start off with much and some people start off with way too much, right? And I'm not talking people with $1 million. I'm just talking people with hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. Okay. And the other thing is, hang on, let me just take a second and mute my sound effects a little bit here because I can't hear myself talk. But I guess my point is, I think that it's inefficient, right? I think that my main argument against capitalism is not just a humanitarian one, which is an important part of it, but also that laissez-faire capitalism is just downright inefficient and requires you know what I mean? It requires some people to get way more than they need, and that stuff doesn't go into the market or get invested in good ways most of the time, right? A lot of that stuff's just being sat on in different inefficient ways. That's my 3 cents. 2 cents, I guess.
I don't understand how that translates into something that we've been doing here.
Oh, this is honestly just for fun. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to see where okay. So then
the connection here is that for one, Minecraft is fun, and for two, I think that it's an interesting way to kind of explore inequality because like in Minecraft, you have, obviously you start off with items and stuff, and those items enable you to get more stuff, etc. Just like in real life, right? I mean, if you start off with a bunch of stuff and all you start off with is one half broken pickaxe, wood pickaxe at that, right? Then one would think that you're going to be able to, if you're any good at the game at all, if there's not a vast difference in our skill levels, right? Then you're going to be able to outperform me, right? And acquire more resources over the course of a day, because I'm going to have to spend my time like making shelter and finding food, and you're going to have plenty of food, right? And et cetera, if that makes sense.
In the course of a day, absolutely. But if we're both playing this game over the course of like 20 years and I'm starting out with this house and you're starting out with nothing, I don't think it's gonna have very much of an effect.
Sure, over the course of 20 years, that's a while though.
Yeah. Yeah, but life is a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it also in life, it takes more than one day to make a house.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it does take more than one day to make a house. That's my point. Is that if we're looking at, hey, in one day, are you going to be able to catch up to me? Of course not. But do you have time throughout your life to beat me? I mean, probably if we're playing this game.
It really depends on yeah, in Minecraft, yeah, but obviously, like I said, Minecraft is a very accelerated time scale. So if you play for 30 minutes of Minecraft, like that sort of advantage takes longer to surmount if you have a lot less in real life than it does in Minecraft. Okay, in Minecraft you just got to make a mine and it takes like a week, and then you can find a diamond sword. Okay, and you're good to go. Like you can pretty much fight. You're not going to have all the enchantments and whatnot, but that's beyond my skills anyway. I'm pretty bad at Minecraft.
Yeah,
but like I think that that's kind of my point here, is that, oh geez, I need more food. If did you kind of see what I'm saying there? I guess I'm trying to fight a zombie. It's a little bit distracting. He's kind of beating me up. Oh boy. Okay.
So you're saying that, yeah, I get you. So you're saying Minecraft is faster than real life, and sure, but it's not so fast that
I have
like
died.
it's not accelerated to the point where like in 30 minutes is equal to like 10 years worth of time or whatever.
No, certainly not. But I think that also there's a lot of structural advantages in life that don't necessarily carry over to Minecraft, right? I mean, Minecraft's a very simplistic relative to life game, right? And there's a lot more in Minecraft that doesn't need to be overcome than there's in life. I think this is an example that's much more in your favor, right? Because there's a certain amount of at a certain point, for one, in Minecraft, like it doesn't matter, your items just kind of stop getting better, right, as far as combat goes.
Unless you cut out. My mom was calling me in the middle of.
Oh, you're good. I just said it was like pretty like you end up kind of capping out on levels and stuff and weapons, right? I mean, once you get like a diamond sword and diamond armor or whatever, like you don't really need a lot more stuff, right? Like, and also like shelter, etc., right? Like there's only so much you can do to make yourself safer and stronger in Minecraft. Whereas in real life, there's a lot more structural advantages you can develop.
Yeah.
I also, by the way, see, this is another example, right? In real life, right? You have these little mishaps, right? Like for instance, let's say your car breaks down, or you have to have your appendix out, whatever. And it's not that big of a deal, right? If you have medical insurance and car insurance, or you have enough money to just buy a new car, right? You have 10 grand saved up. That's like a zombie attacking, right? But that zombie, I just had a little zombie run at me and kill me because I didn't have a weapon to defend myself. I was trying to beat it to death with a pork chop and it just didn't do its job. So
I have a pet dog.
Well, yeah, I see. I don't have a pet dog. I can't even find my I can't find my stuff. Dog. I'm very sad.
No, you're sad. My dog. All right, yeah, but no, I get what you're saying. I don't understand how that is translating into this.
Well, this is just a fun example.
But my dog is killing this cow for me. See, I have an advantage. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, you have an advantage. And why did you get that dog? Because you didn't die to the zombie.
Yeah, but so what I'm saying is
you had an axe.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with any of that. Like I don't see where we're disagreeing.
Well, my disagreement there is that I think that a good capitalist system should allow those who are better to excel, not those who are advantaged to excel. And of course, there's going to be some advantages, but there should be, like, for instance, if we gave everyone iron axes, right? Like, iron axes are pretty cheap. Everyone could have one, right? Our society can provide everyone with, let's say, iron axes if we're a Minecraft society.
You want an iron axe?
No, that's not the point. We're not. This is what happens if this doesn't happen.
Right.
Right. That would be very counterproductive to the example. But my point is, like, this is my belief, both as a someone who thinks society should do, like, good things that are morally correct or whatnot, right? Things I think that are just good things to do as human beings, as well as, like, someone who's, like, interested in the efficiency of society, right? In the, productivity of society. And I think that, giving everyone access to certain limited advantages, right, so that they can make the most of themselves and be effective, would have immense rewards for society at large, in the long run, and it would pay for itself many times over. I guess that's my point.
All right. I think this might just be me. Everyone else might have understood that. But if I guess if I'm understanding that correctly, I don't know. Maybe I'm just slow. I think I missed what you were saying.
What I'm trying to say is, like, it's distracting. Maybe I'm not making sense because I'm trying to do stuff in Minecraft at the same time.
It probably is just me. I'm just, like, a little bit lost.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, I think that if look in Minecraft, right, you really get started, and I'm going to continue the Minecraft analogy because I'm thinking about Minecraft right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's hard to think about.
That's what today's thing is.
But in Minecraft, right, you really, once you get a few items, right, you really take off, right? You can really do a lot of stuff. Like, sure, a diamond pickaxe, a diamond sword is great, okay, but you get a diamond, you get an iron shovel or even a wood shovel, right, and you can do so much more than someone who just has their hands, right?
Of course.
All of a sudden you become immensely efficient, right?
You want to go to sleep?
Yeah, I guess I should probably go to sleep. I don't have a bed.
Are you doing the thing where you're going on your own?
I was going to, but at the same time, I don't want to try this at night. So I'm gonna come sleep in here. You're a charitable rich person who's letting me sleep over, okay?
All right.
It's really just so I don't keep dying to the mobs.
Yeah.
Because that's very frustrating. I already did that once and I lost everything. Yeah, so I guess that what I'm trying to say here is that those few things are things that our society, right? Let's say, for instance, a quality public education and access to healthcare, right? Those are things that our society can provide to people reasonably without compromising the livelihoods of everyone or anything. Okay, it's not like going to be like, it wouldn't bankrupt our society to do that, right? Our society is affluent enough to do that sort of thing, and yet we choose not to, right? We say, oh, it's not our job, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, and that doesn't mean you give people everything or give people a super comfortable life, right? But I think a lot of people end up having, right, you have these compounding issues, right? Like the person who starts without a pickaxe ends up dying to a zombie, and it takes longer to get there, and maybe they're just not very good at Minecraft, so I mean that's fine, maybe you're not very good at it, but and that's an issue in and of itself, but like you can still do stuff, you know what I mean, if you're given like certain level of help. Does that make sense?
Can you not do stuff right now? Can you not just go break some trees and then get some
right, but it takes a long time. I mean, I just got my crafting table.
Right, but it took a long time for everyone.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have to do that. Your forefathers did it.
Right, but you can still do it. The opportunity is still there.
Yeah, the opportunity is still there, but it's hard and it requires a greater skill cap than it would if you just gave me the tools, right? You see what I'm saying? Not criticizing you in this particular instance. I know this is part of the example, but what I'm trying to say is, like, in real life, right? Like, someone who isn't given the opportunities because they have to work from a young age, or their schooling is really crappy, or whatever reason, right? They're not able to go to any sort of college because they have to work and provide for their family. Okay, whatever it might be. All of those things can greatly limit their effectiveness and their utility to society, is what I'm trying to say, right? You can have people, and I think I've talked about this before on the podcast, but my neighbor is a brilliant guy named Mr. Danzig. He grew up a poor black guy in a I forget where it was. It was some poor urban area in like the 1940s, 1950s, and he didn't graduate high school, and went into the army, and yeah, he worked his way up, right? But I mean, think about how much he could have done something even greater than he did, right? He ended up being a physicist and working to develop the GPS. Brilliant guy, really inspired me, and that's awesome. But there are a lot of Mr. Danzigs out there who aren't necessarily, they're brilliant, and they're probably a whole lot more competent than someone like me who has had advantages the whole time and is able to get a physics degree. Maybe not because I'm as good at it as Mr. Danzig was, right? Let's just say maybe he's better than I am, right? But because I have these structural advantages, right? Like I have the exposure to science as a little kid and a quality schooling, and my parents valued education, things like that, right? Whereas he was like, no one in his family really graduated high school.
Yeah.
Those are all advantages that aren't necessarily overcome by time the way they would be in a Minecraft setting.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. I think it's a good point. So your whole point, like the whole argument you're trying to make, is that there's some people who are brilliant, but they aren't allowed, like they can't be used.
Right. So they're wasted. Society can't take advantage of those sorts of individuals, and it's a great loss. And even not thinking about it from like, let's say, screw the individuals. Let's just think about society. Okay, let's just be greedy. And of course, I think the individuals are greedy too. That's not my position at all. But at the same time, it really seems like society's missing out, even if we ignore the rights and the not the rights necessarily. It's not necessarily a right. I think people use the word right too much. Everyone has a right to everything these days. But we do ourselves a great injustice and a great disservice.
Yeah. Well, here, let me try to move this forward too, because I understand what you're saying. So actually, I had a meeting with one of my advisors today, and I think he was explaining a principle that's, I guess it's kind of applicable to this. I mean, he was speaking in the context of a tech company, but I think we can still use it. He said, anytime you're thinking about creating a new feature, so in this case, where I think this is going is we create some sort of feature in the government that addresses this problem, right?
Right.
What he said is there's like a simple formula you can follow. He said this really works when you judge all these things on a scale of 1 to 10, and that way you can use actual numbers. But he said just literally plug the feature into this formula and compare it against other features you plugged into this formula. So it's reach times impact times confidence over effort, right? Which can be modified. In this case, effort is like the sole cost. But what that basically means is at the top, it's the benefit and the scale at which you can benefit and how confident you are that you're going to be able to execute on that. So all of that on the top multiplied against each other over the cost, over the amount of effort, right? So I agree. You're definitely outlining a problem, right? But when we plug it into a framework like that, what's the cost of it? That's the biggest question. I mean, there's lots of, I can watch Shark Tank, or I can walk through like a scene before on TV store, and I can see a lot of really cool products that might solve cool problems.
Sorry, quick question. Don't leaves drop sticks eventually?
If you break down the whole tree, then it'll eventually start dropping stuff. But you can build a crafting table and turn wood into wood planks and then wood planks into sticks.
Oh, that's right, you can. Okay, that's what I need to do.
Basically what I'm saying is like everything has a cost. Like nothing is free. So the question is like, what are you proposing as a solution, and then what's the cost of that solution, and then how do we weigh that against what all the other problems we have to solve?
No, yeah, absolutely, I agree, for sure. And I'm no crazy idealist or anything. I'm not proposing like a really, like audacious version of it. This sort of charitable plan, I guess, and it is in its essence charitable, right? And I think that's not something I want to try to, um, deny or say, I'm not a proponent of like, charity. I'm a proponent of charity when it benefits society, if that makes sense. And I think this is a case where it would very much benefit everyone, right? Even those who aren't directly benefiting, right? It's kind of a, um, I think at this point, right, the world is a very interconnected place these days, right? And improving the lives of other people and improving their ability to contribute to the world I live in is, it's a positive sum game. You know what I mean? Where if I, if a billionaire, right, or a millionaire or something, right, that the very rich, right, are give to, right, these sorts of, programs that allow more talented children to, enter the workforce and stuff, right? That's something that will benefit their corporations in the long run. You see what I'm saying? And enable the, a more skilled workforce in America, et cetera, right? More innovation, more technology, more effective, just more effective use of the stuff we already have too, right? I mean, people who are educated are going to be more effective at pretty much any task they do, as long as it's not like just flipping burgers or something. You know what I mean? I don't know that
Do you
how
I
much
guess
skill you need
do you
for that.
think that that's what like do you think that that's what like Microsoft wants? Like they just want everyone to just flip burgers while like because like I guess what I'm saying is like if you okay, I guess maybe that was a bad way to phrase it. But what I'm trying to say is that like if you look at, these companies like okay, here, I think it's a good example. Have you heard the news about like Raleigh?
What news about Raleigh?
So Apple is building their East Coast headquarters in Raleigh. They just announced it.
Wow.
And
Okay. Cool.
part of that announcement was that they're putting $1 billion into North. I don't know if it's just our education system, like our public education system, or if it's $1 billion total into just like the North Carolina government.
Yeah.
But they're giving us $1 billion to like improve the
Wow.
state, right?
Awesome.
And that's what companies do. Like I know I can't remember exactly, but I remember like Dell like built like a they had some production plant that they built in the early 2000s and like somewhere in North Carolina, and they did the same thing where they donated a bunch of computers and like money and stuff to the school system. I mean, it's pretty common for companies to do that because like they want the areas that they're in to be really well educated. I mean, there's a reason that Silicon Valley is such a great area. I mean, there's Silicon Valley is the only place where like a 12-year-old Steve Jobs who was working on his little computer projects that he would build could call up the CEO and founder of I think it was HP and just say, hey, can I have some spare parts to work on my computer project and become friends with a CEO of HP at 12 years old, Like
Right.
you,
Yeah.
you
No,
need
for
you
sure.
need areas like that to have, the kind of innovation that's come out of somewhere like Silicon Valley. So I mean, yeah, I mean what you're saying makes a lot of sense and companies do want that today. Like they do invest to try to build that.
Right.
Do
What I'm
you know
saying is
you know what
not
I'm
just a
saying?
specific instance of a company like Apple, though. And by the way, I would like to take a moment and say that's awesome for that Apple's doing that, and I am pleased that they're doing so. Right.
Or do you want to
Um.
sleep? I'm listening to what you're saying, but
Yes. No. I'll come sleep.
all right.
If I can find the house,
Yeah, I forgot where it was also. I'm
because
like
I'm kind of on the other
Goldilocks.
side of that little island here, and I'm a little bit lost and confused here.
Yeah, I have my dog, but I'm gonna try to find. I'll try to find you as well. But sorry, keep going.
I think I'm going in the right direction now. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, what I was saying is, I think that's awesome that Apple's doing that, and that's the kind of thing I hope to see. However, it seems that that sort of thing is, unfortunately, a little bit. How do I put this? For one, it rests on companies, which I don't really think that's where the burden should rest necessarily. Um, because it seems to me that that sort of thing is a societal duty, right? And we should be right. I mean, yeah. So it's awesome that Silicon Valley is like that, but why aren't more places like that? See what I'm saying? Why? And I know, of course, not that specific thing. Oh my God, there's another freaking creeper. I'm gonna die. Uh,
Wait, where are you at?
I almost. Oh no, run away! I do not know where I am, but this is not. This is very scary. I'm not having a good time. Oh, there it is. Okay, let's see if I can make it. Oh no! Oh no! Ah, no! Leave me alone.
Yeah, I
Leave me
got you.
alone.
Can you see
Leave
the?
me
Are you
alone.
somewhere? Are
Leave
you
me
somewhere where you
alone.
can see it? I'll come. I'll
Yeah,
come get
I'm
you.
coming. I'm coming. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. There's two creepers.
All right, I'm on the roof. I'm looking
Ah,
out for you. All right, but so you
run.
keep going with what you're saying. Oh, okay, I
Yeah,
see you here.
yeah. Woo. We're good.
You're
We're good. We're
good. It's
good.
just a spider behind you.
Holy cow. Oh, he better not come up here. Oh my God, he's coming up here. No,
Oh
stay
wait, dude,
away.
why'd you gotta
Stay
come inside
away.
the.
You
Okay,
bastard.
but wait, what were you saying?
Woo. Oh my God, I died. Okay, it's okay. I should respawn right here. Yeah, I can just run outside and grab my
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay, here. What?
I was talking about the oh gosh, I can't remember. I got very distracted there. Yeah, so I mean, I was talking about all the oh, there's all my stuff. I was talking about the hang on, I'm being attacked. I'll be able to think again in a second. Okay, there we
here,
go. Let's
just
sleep.
one second.
Sleep. Oh, you may not rest. Okay.
Hold on.
Careful. Yeah, so my point was it shouldn't rest on Apple to have to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's more of a societal duty than the duty of one specific company. You know what I mean? Or a company who wants to enrich their area, right? Like I think that there's a lot of room for improvement. As far as what are you still doing here? You should be dead. There's a lot of room for improvement, is what I'm trying to say.
Hey, watch out! There's a witch over there.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that. There's a lot of room for improvement across the nation, right? And I think that not only could specific areas that are being invested in by corporations benefit, but also just general America. I mean, look around. Okay, there's a vast amount of wasted potential in this country with people getting I mean, just look at the number of heroin overdoses this year alone. Okay, it's a staggering death toll. And I think that education, while not is not certainly not a panacea, right? It doesn't cure everything, but it can help with some of these things. I think right, and just a basic access to a certain level of income, right, and a certain level of right. I mean, people who have a certain level of income are not as likely to abuse drugs and whatnot, right? The poorest people are always the ones who are most likely to abuse drugs. And part of that might be because they're poor because they're incompetent. I'm not going to say that never happens. Okay, there are plenty of incompetent poor people, but there's probably a very good chunk that are just disadvantaged, you know what I mean? And unable to earn a decent living and earn an honest living because they're disadvantaged to begin with, right? And maybe they're not the greatest shining example of human ingenuity, but they could contribute to society much more than they are. Does that make sense?
No, I again, I get the problem that you're outlining, but it sounds like what you're saying the solution is like to like hand out more money to people.
Well, the way you say that is inherently negatory, right? And I'm not saying hand out. What I'm saying is you solve like basic issues for people that people in a developed society shouldn't be having anymore, like food insecurity and an inability to find decent shelter. Okay, make people feel safe, make communities safe by giving them basic reasonable dwellings. Okay, look, college dorms aren't expensive to maintain. Okay, I hate to break it to you, but they're just not. You could house a lot of people in like college style dormitories very easily and keep them in decent shape and not have Haynes style slums. Okay, where it's just like we're doing the absolute bare minimum. Okay, so these people aren't on the streets, right? And it's like what I think that even leaving aside the we have a duty to our fellow man, which I think is absolutely correct. We can also make a pretty good case that this is just what's good for society. We should just be doing this. See what I'm saying? I don't know.
I see what you're saying. I'm thinking about, because when you say like, okay, we can do better than like the Haines slums. Well, those slums are owned by real estate investors, not by all of society. So I guess what I'm saying is like with what you're proposing, like how, where is the, like, who's gonna do it? Like, oh, someone just joined our game. Someone left our game.
Oh,
All right,
dang.
but I guess what I'm saying is like who's gonna do it? Where's the money gonna come from? You know
I
what I mean?
mean,
In theory, it
there's this
sounds
thing.
good,
There's this thing we do called taxes.
right?
And we pay them so that we can all have nice things together, such as roads, as we discussed in our earlier podcast, right? When we were like, well, we should privatize roads. I was like, okay, well, how are we going to do that? And you're like, okay, good point. The same sort of thing. Yeah, it's obviously not profitable in the short term, right? You realize, okay, here's the thing, right? I think we can both agree that climate change is something corporations, it's in the best interest of corporations to address pretty immediately, right? But it's a
I mean,
tragedy
there's a
that,
big financial incentive if that's what you're saying.
yeah, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying. Yes, I mean, there's going to be, and this is what the science says, there's going to be trillions of dollars in damage. This isn't just me talking. In the immediate future, and America's going to be one of the most hardest hit country, the hardest hit countries because of our position, right? And the fragile ecosystems of the Midwest, right? But companies aren't really doing a whole lot to impact that in a big way. They're minimizing emissions in the most cost effective way they can, but they're not like, stepping up and going the extra mile and really saying, okay, we're not going to like fight climate change and like raise awareness. We're going to like get down and dirty and wrestle with climate change. You know what I mean? And like, this is going to be a priority for us. Right.
well, what
No
companies are
one's
you
doing that.
talking about?
I mean, any sort of corporation, right? I mean, they'll say, "Oh, we're reducing the plastic in our look, you get it all the time, right? Like, we've reduced the plastic in our water bottles," says Dasani, but they're not putting solar panels on top of their roof. They're not using biodegradable plastics. Okay, they're just they're doing things that they're cutting corners environmentally, or not cutting corners, but they are doing things that look good environmentally that also benefit their pocketbook. Okay, and things like that, right? But a lot of companies are not doing, like a ton of environmental activism or anything. That's for sure, right?
I
And
mean, yeah,
so
there's
my point is not to argue that they should be. That's kind of besides the point. But my point is to say that this sort of thing doesn't have an incentive, even though it's an incentive for the group to do it, right? It's like, my way back in high school, my AP human geo teacher said, it's like farmers who are letting their cows shit in a field, okay? And for each one of them, it's really convenient if they just don't clean up the shit, right? And it totally is expedient, but at a certain point, you just have too much shit in the field and no one can send their cows there to graze anymore, so everyone misses out, right? And that's why you have societal things, right? Because these are things that are productive for everyone, but that for each individual are not going to be cost effective, right? That's what I'm trying to say. You need to, it's like the definition of public works, things that everyone needs and everyone benefits from, but you can't make a business out of it. And I think there are definitely things out there like that. Also, I can't find
right.
my base and I'm sad about it.
Well, so I think you're talking about some specific companies, and I hear you on that, but I mean, if you pay attention to what Silicon Valley's talking about right now, like there's big investors, like there's like, I know there's like Chamath, there's like Naval Ravikant, a lot of these big guys who are talking about how the next generation of billionaires is going to be made in solving climate change specifically, which is why I thought it was interesting that you brought this specific thing up. And there's lots of companies out there who are trying to tackle climate change. I mean, you have like, if we want to talk about big companies, you have companies like Porsche who are creating more, who are creating like cleaner fuels, which is actually, it's said to be cleaner than the electric energy. And I mean, you also have even something as simple as like there's a company in New York called like the Air Company, which like they make like luxury vodka and hand sanitizer by like their process is basically like they take like a pound of carbon out of the air, turn it into ethanol, and then there's a process by which they mix the ethanol with water and they make luxury vodka, and
That's
it
awesome.
sells because people feel good that they're saving the environment.
Right.
So I mean, the race to solve climate change is, it's not, it's it's going on. Like that's a big race right now.
No, I know. And I'm not trying to get into the climate change, our company's doing enough debate. What I'm trying to say is I think there are certain things, and we can take the example of roads again, right? Where it's not profitable necessarily for a company to do the upkeep necessary, right? It's going to take a lot of money. You're not going to be able to privatize it well, right? Because and I think that these slum projects are a really good example, right? Because how do you qualify the success of a project like this, right? How do you, there's not necessarily going to be a monetary reward to a given company, right? If Microsoft comes in and gives, um, computer education to a bunch of inner city kids and gives them affordable housing, what benefits are they going to reap, right? Are they going to reap benefits from, like, no, those kids, if they're successful, they're going to go on to college, right? If the education and the opportunities Microsoft gives makes a difference, they're going to find a career, but it probably won't be with Microsoft. You see what I'm saying? And so there's no financial incentive for Microsoft to do that except to look nice, right? And companies
Well,
function off
they if
financial
Microsoft has
incentives pretty
headquarters in
heavily.
North Carolina and they invest money in North Carolina, they know that those kids, the ones of them who go into tech, Microsoft's going to be one of the attractive options. That's the whole point. Is if we can make North Carolina smarter. I keep forgetting. I keep needing to make torches. Sorry, but the whole point is, we can do something to make Microsoft, or we can do something to make North Carolina smarter. Or we can do something to get these kids closer to a tech education. Then it's going to be easier for us to recruit. And what was the other thing? I mean, too, like, let me also just say this with roads. I mean, like,
And what's the
like
coordinate? How do you look at the coordinates?
it's like F3 or something.
What are the coordinates of our base?
It's I don't know about the here. One second.
Aren't you at the
Let me
base?
just get this call. I'm figuring it out right now.
Just
But
where are
it's
you? I'm
like,
gonna walk towards you.
well, I'm down, so I don't know which one is down or up. But here, so there's a
Well, there's X, Y, and Z.
what
Just
were
you give me
we?
X
Hold
and
on.
Y.
What were we talking about? I'm totally blanking
Oh,
now.
there it is. I found it.
Yeah.
Whew.
Okay. So I think the whole example with roads too, right? Like, I mean, we just brought it up last time. So, I mean, let me just clarify something. Like, I'm not, I'm not going to state any like hard and fast opinions on that. Like, I need to think about it, like most other things, right? Because I mean, when we're talking about roads, I mean, it seems like I remember we brought up power as well when we were talking about that, and like, while right now in my head I can't really think about how that all works because I mean I've never learned about it. Like, I know for a fact that like my power comes from Duke Power, which I'm assuming is a company, unless I'm wrong about something.
It's a natural monopoly though. It doesn't.
Yeah,
It's
but
not a. It's owned by North Carolina.
okay, so it's owned by the state, so that's how that
Yeah.
works.
So it's
Okay,
not a private company. Is what I'm trying to say.
okay. So yeah, so I mean, again, it's one of those things like where I have to think about it. Like, I don't know how all this works, right? Like, I don't know why I'm not getting my power. Then I don't know what the point of creating the Duke Power was. There has to be a point, obviously. You know what I mean?
What do you
So
mean?
like
Yeah, I mean it's to give people power.
yeah, but why not just why even create an entity called Duke Power? Why not just call it? I mean, like why create that entity in the first place? You know what I mean?
What do you mean? I don't.
Like, why is it its own entity? Like, why is it not like a, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Like, like I'd have to like go and like learn about
You
these
wanna you
things. So
wanna
I'm
sleep?
not gonna.
You wanna sleep? It's nighttime.
It's nighttime up there.
Yep. Oh, are you down there?
Here, 1 second. All right, yeah, I'll come sleep. But anyway, it's like you have to like I mean I don't know enough about that to give like a hard and fast opinion. That's all I'm saying.
No, I
Like
say no. I'm
there's a
not.
reason
Yeah,
there's a
I'm not trying
reason
to
for
argue about that
everything.
one. Well, there has to be an entity, right? I'm not saying that we should all just have like a societal power plant or something. That'd be a communal power plant. That'd be very difficult to run, right? Like, oh, Kush, it's your turn to work at the power plant this week. Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. Obviously, there needs to be an entity, a company, or something that does that, right? And it's fine if they make a profit, but it's a public work. You know what I mean? Like, they get money from the state. They're kind of controlled like indirectly by the state legislature, who are controlled indirectly by the public, et cetera, et cetera. So my point is, and so we're kind of getting off topic, but anyway, my point is also, here, let me eat some food and then we can fight, because I think we're about out of time.
No, we got like 25 more minutes.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just keep trying to farm here. Woo.
Well, what's your point?
Oh, no. Oh, God bless it. I'll walk back out there. Yeah, so my point was, like, I think that there's a lot of like good reasons to invest in this sort of thing and no financial reason to do it. Like, it's a societal investment, is what I'm trying to say. It's not an individual investment, and it's not going to make sense to talk about it in this society should do this way, right? Or this company should do this, right? Because it's not something a company should do. It's not in their financial best interests. Again, right? It doesn't make sense to loan for a company to give people really nice, not really nice, but livable apartments in the Haynes area at a rent they can afford, right? It doesn't make sense. Why would they do that? It would cost them money, right? And they're not thinking about 50 years down the line when those people's children's children, all of a sudden are a really functional part of society. You know what I mean? Instead of having high rates of, needing full welfare from the state and stuff, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that, right? Like, I'm not saying that everyone can be a doctor. What I'm saying is that, everyone can contribute to society in a meaningful sense, right? In a way that's good for the society. Almost everyone, at least, right? Maybe there's some really criminal people who just aren't criminal because of their upbringing, but just because they're criminal in nature. Okay, I don't know. But my point is that it would be beneficial if we could tap into that talent reserve, and there's no financial reason to do so, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Aside from the ones that you've said, Apple can invest in North Carolina. $1 billion. Well, $1 billion across the state, you know how little that is? $1 billion is like Winston-Salem, Winston-Salem's like less than Winston-Salem's school budget. It's all released every year, but like our school budget's huge. Okay, $1 billion sounds like a lot, but it's not that much.
Yeah.
Like across a state is what I'm trying to say, or even across a district, right? Across a town. Okay, like it's a lot for a few thousand people, but once you get to 1 million people, it's nothing. It's nothing. You have to have access to the kinds of capital that only a public work can give, right? Because this company is essentially giving this money away, right? They're not doing it because it's in their best interest, right? Like, they're doing it because it's going to make them look nice, right? And that's in their best interest, to look like nice people, right? You see what I'm saying? But they're not like, oh, we're going to fund this program no matter how much it costs. Here's $500 billion, right? We're going to totally overhaul the school system in Raleigh, North Carolina, especially in the vulnerable areas, right? Like, no, they're not going to do that because that would bankrupt the company. Okay. Or, there'd be no reason for them to do that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But so then I guess then in this case, again, I agree with you. I think it's a really noble problem to try to solve, but what's the solution and how much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost? Like, in how much is it going to cost the American people to do this?
So great news. The American people, what is it? 0.1% of the American people own like 40 something percent of the wealth. I can't remember exactly the statistics, but it's something along that nature. Where there's vast wealth inequality in America. And if you look at a graph of it, it's been exacerbated incredibly over the course of the pandemic because so many tech companies and large companies have benefited at the expense of small businesses, right? Because, mom and pop's grocery store couldn't stay open during the pandemic, right? And went out of business, or mom and pop's restaurant. And then, big companies were there to pick up the slack, right? Because they had the staying power and the economic and financial reserves to be able to, kind of keep chugging along even when things got tough. And right, and of course the CEOs of those companies benefited, right? It wasn't the workers getting raises, right? Look, Jeff, it wasn't the Amazon workers who got the profits from Amazon, okay? even though they were working hard and everything, right? It was Jeff Bezos, right? Because he was there, right? And what is Jeff Bezos going to do with the money? He doesn't do that much with his money. You know what I mean? His ex-wife does a lot. She's nice. But like, you know, Jeff Bezos is just going to sit on the money. Like what's maybe he'll invest it in something, but like that investment is not going to have the same returns for society as like, you know, just investing it directly in a bunch of underprivileged kids. See what I'm saying? Kids are a pretty good investment overall, right?
So like let's like, because I know we're kind of talking about the same thing. Like let's just throw in another angle in here.
Go
Okay.
for it.
So let's say that I'm Jeff Bezos, right? And now, right? And again, like let's assume that you're able to do this because remember, people who have the money have the power and have always found a way out of taxes. Those are the people who create the ways out of taxes for other people who study them and then can use them to their advantage. But let's just say that the government comes up with like a bulletproof way that they're going to raise the taxes
Well,
on
to
Jeff
be fair, the
Bezos.
reason they get those tax
And
loops isn't because they're superheroes or something. It's because we let them have it, right? Like the government lets them have it.
right, I mean
They have a
it's
lobbying
baked
group
in.
and they
They
have a
have the
lot of
power
stuff.
because
Yeah.
they're the ones who get all the politicians elected.
Right,
But
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
anyway, like let's assume that we have some way that we can
Bernie
uh
wins.
yeah, no, let's say we have some way where we can force like we can force, you know, Jeff Bezos to pay an insane amount of tax or whatever, right?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
just let's say I liked
what's stopping him from picking everything up, right? And just moving his companies to India or China because they have hardworking, or not China, let's say India, because they have hardworking people too. We can get talent there. I mean, it might be a little bit more expensive. It might be expensive to move stuff there, but if we're going to tax the absolute crap out of him or his companies, what's stopping him from just packing it up and going somewhere else
well,
and
don't
saying,
tax the crap out of his
America, you
company.
need
I'm
me
not
more than I need you? You know, what's stopping him from
well,
saying that?
I don't think that's true for one, because it wouldn't make any sense to have Amazon in China, or
I said, or
India or
India.
whatever. Yeah, it wouldn't make any sense to have it in India either, because it's a shipping company, more or less. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like how is he gonna deliver my whatever, my
Well,
8 pounds of Snickers bars?
Let's
Okay.
leave the logistics out of it because first of all, I know even earlier Amazon used to contract because I remember like they like you know they would contract with like these different logistics companies. So you know there's a way for them to do that. I'm saying they pack it up. You know, there's no more software engineers in Seattle. You know, Seattle has basically been picked up and moved to India. Seattle
Mhm.
is now in it, like the whole thing like unearthed and it flies over to India. The whole city of
Okay,
Seattle,
I'll take
right?
your word for it.
So I mean that's what I'm saying is like let's leave the logistics out of it because it's not that hard for them to contract, you
I
know,
think
whatever
that
to
in the case
FedEx.
of Amazon, it would be very, very difficult to do that because they have so many warehouses here. And that's a great deal of what's going on with them.
Let's say you're taxing them so much, right? You're taxing them so much, it doesn't make sense
Well,
for them
that's
to
not
be
what
here.
I suggested, though. That's like a little bit of a straw man attack there, my friend. That's saying, like, you know, I'm not even going after Amazon. I didn't say I was going to raise taxes on Amazon. I didn't say anything about a corporate tax. I said tax the ultra rich who have a large, not a majority, but what's the other word? Can't remember the word now. Plurality of the wealth in America, right? The top 1% has by far all the most wealth, right?
Well, they have
Out of
ways of getting out of it, right? I mean,
right, and so
you know
you
what I
close
mean?
the loopholes. We don't need to give them way. They have ways of getting out of it because they've lobbied their way into having those ways, right? See
I
what I'm
mean, but
saying?
how so I see what you're saying in theory. I just don't think that that's something that can happen. I just don't think that you can.
There have been plenty of times in history where angry people have absolutely fucked up the wealthy ruling class, right? Like
Yeah,
look
but
at
through like
times in
bloodshed,
the
like through.
yeah, well, you don't have to have the bloodshed part, but I mean, there are other ways to do it. That's not a necessary part of it, right? You can most definitely have some sort of way to, just close the loopholes. I mean, this is not impossible at all. Okay, this has been done before, and look around. Okay, like if we just go back to the levels of economic inequality we had in like the 70s instead of today, okay, that would be a huge improvement, and that would free up so much capital for public projects like this. Okay, I'm not saying do away with the wealthy people. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying no one should make more than $1 million a year. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying no one should have $1 billion. Okay, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying we as a society should say, look, this inequality thing, this economic inequality thing is so far out of hand that we got to do something about it, right? Because it's having catastrophic consequences for everyone except for those people who are benefiting from it, right? And normally in any other thing, right, in any other situation, we would be doing stuff about it, right? But because they're the
Yeah, I
wealthy
mean, I
now,
agree with you. It's not good. It's again, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but it's, I mean, what's it gonna cost? Like, what's the solution? Like, what's it gonna
right?
cost?
Well,
And
I
like,
just I
how are
just
we
made
gonna
a
implement
solution.
it?
The solution is you tax the ultra rich individuals, and you close
Yeah,
corporate tax loopholes. But I mean, not taxing the bejesus out of them, just make them pay reasonable taxes. I don't know what those would be. I'm no financial expert. Anyway, I'm kind of ready to fight you, because I'm getting really
here.
hungry.
All right, or are you okay?
Let's sleep
Here,
once.
let's just give it 5 more minutes because I'm just
Okay.
organizing this really quick. But I do, I will be ready to do that as well.
I
But yeah, I
went
mean,
for a
I
run.
don't see,
No, I'm hungry.
I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't really see how. Oh,
Fish,
is
go
it
to bed.
night?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, look, like I'm not gonna claim to be like some sort of tax expert. I don't know what all of the loopholes are, but I mean, even with the incredibly minuscule amount of knowledge that I have, it's pretty clear that all these loopholes were created by people who already had the power. And so, I mean, it to me just fundamentally something, seems off. Like I'm again, if I mean, look, if someone is confident that they can do it and they go out and do it, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm really skeptical that you're going to be able to go against the will of the people who have all of the power. Like, do you
Well, I
understand what I'm
mean, so
saying?
the thing is, though, in
Like,
America, they
when,
have
like,
a
for example,
very. Sorry, go ahead.
let me just say that, like, the reason someone has billions and billions of dollars in terms of like their net worth, right? Like, because no one who has billions and billions of dollars is just sitting on it all in cash. They have it in their net worth, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the
Yeah, yeah.
reason their net worth is like that is because they control some important resource. That's what it all comes down to. That's what it's all proportionate to. You control a resource that's really valuable. It's going to increase the worth, the wealth that's yours. You have power over it. You have a say over who gets to access what part of it and what they do with it. And so to me, when I look at someone like Jeff Bezos, or I mean, I'm sure there's people who aren't as famous who have like more power, but when I look at someone who controls like resources that are that valuable, I just have a really hard time believing that there's there's any way that you're going to be able to force them to force them to be able to
Relinquish
fund
that
something like
power.
this.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm? Yeah,
No, I
relinquish
mean,
that
I
power.
think
That's a
I
better
think
way of saying
you
it.
I think you absolutely can force them, because in America their power is not like codified in law. It's just a very soft kind of power. You know what I mean? It's like the power of influence and the power of financial gain and whatnot, right? Not the power of like, they have a private army at their command. They just don't have those things. They don't have any hard power like that, right? That power is that's the good thing about a democracy. It's not an insurmountable thing. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that like that's what I'm saying is like, I watched this movie the other day and I forget, God, it's called I Care a Lot. Okay. It's called I Care a Lot. It was about this absolutely evil woman. I don't think I've ever hated a character so much in my life. This absolutely awful woman who went around abusing elderly people and putting them in care homes, saying they were mentally incompetent because of their age. and they weren't, and then she would take their money and basically have them killed via medicine, right? An awful character. And she ended up being very successful, and she became a billionaire and started a company in cahoots with this drug lord dude. And anyway, besides the point of the show, at the end of the show, what happened was she was having this big interview and was on TV as, this powerful woman and everything, and really impressive and this and that. And then this guy who was mad at her in the beginning of the movie, because he killed her mom. Sorry, killed his mom. She killed his mom, legally, and stopped him from seeing her when she was sick, because he was trying to get custody of her instead of her having custody, and that would prevent her from being able to drain the woman of her assets as she died. And so the guy was so mad that he just walked up to her, pulled out his pistol, and shot her on the way to the interview, and went to jail and everything, but she just died right there. And so I'm not saying we should shoot anyone or anything like that. What I'm saying is this woman didn't have a private army or anything. She didn't have she had a soft power, right? The power of money, the power of influence, right? But the American voter, right, and the American legislative power, when it actually decides to do something instead of sitting there bickering, is kind of like the gun. You know what I mean? Where they can just kind of brute force their way in, if that makes sense, right? And look, if Congress says Facebook, go to hell, Facebook's going to go to hell. Facebook isn't going to have any say in the matter, right? Sure, they can exert their power of the lobby and this and that, right? But it's just not as powerful as a law. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have that sort of legislative power, or that sort of finite, the final say in the matter, right? The gun coming out of the bullet, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Let me just say this one last thing, and
yeah,
I'll probably head back to the thing as well, so we can
have our showdown.
But yeah, but I'll say this, when I'm talking about these companies, the people whoever controlling important resources, that's where the power comes from. I'm not. What I'm saying is it's not like they just have a certain amount of money just because in the past they've taken advantage of people. It's because right now they're controlling a resource that's very valuable, right? Let's say the two of us make end up being worth a shitload of money because we start a wildly popular beer brand, right? So the reason that we have that power is because we're controlling a resource that ultimately turns into people's enjoyment, their relaxation or whatever.
No, of course.
You know what I mean?
That the reason you
don't have the power because of just because you don't have it just because the money came in because you did something dirty. You have it because you're actively
you're doing something good.
Control. You're in control of a resource that's really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. And oftentimes they're very good things. And I'm not saying we should abolish private ownership or anything like that. Not in the slightest.
Yeah.
I want to be very, very clear. I am in favor of companies. I think capitalism and companies are great, right? Absolutely. I just think it's important that we have reasonable ways to manage them so that certain individuals don't become so incredibly gluttonous that they just take everything over, so to speak, right? Anyway, I'm ready to fight, but I think we kind of agree on that portion there. Is I'm not going after the companies mostly. I'm mostly going after the wealth and inequality here.
All right, let's have a showdown. You can
right.
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. You can be who's the guy from the French Revolution? Robespierre. You can be Robespierre. Is that the guy? I'll be Jeff Bezos.
Oh no. Didn't Robespierre have himself guillotined though, or something?
Oh wait, no, it's the wrong guy. So I don't even remember, dude.
I don't know, dude.
Who do you want to be? Bernie Sanders?
I don't want to be the French dude. I don't want to be the French
Joe Biden
because they just lose at everything. And Joe Biden is not doing this. I don't know about Bernie. He's kind of old to be a fighter. You know what I mean?
Who do you AOC maybe?
AOC. Oh no, I don't like.
I can't think. I'm trying to think of the big names.
Let me think. God, I'll just be Bernie. I'm Bernie, and you're
I'll be Jeff Bezos.
You're Bezos. All right, Bezos, bring it on, you dirty bastard, you dirty capitalist pig.
Oh, what you got me?
I got you.
Come here.
You and your capitalism has made you weak.
All right, I need to eat.
I'm very hungry. Woo. Hey, I'm eating, you bastard.
I got you.
No, okay, hang on, rematch. So I was eating. You gotta let a man eat.
Oh wait, is that no? I thought we were just going.
No, I'm totally joking. That was absolutely fair. I'm just messing with you.
All right.
Did you take my axe?
Did I? Capitalism.
You bastard! I'm gonna hit you with my stick. Ow, God!
All right, you can have your axe.
I'm in so much pain. Oh, thank you. No, leave me alone.
Oh, I glitched.
I can't get out of the water. Help. No. Help. Okay, I think you win.
All right. Jeff Bezos wins.
Yeah, that's not very surprising. You had a diamond sword and I had a stone axe. Oh no, don't murder me. Die.
Ah. You're actually getting me. You might get me.
Oh my God. Just beating Jeff Bezos to death with my hands.
This is how it goes. How are you
Mob's
doing
winning.
You got me.
Oh my God. People love revolution.
All right. I think you want to call it there.
We have ceased the means of production.
Yeah. You defeated Jeff Bezos.
Dude, this is like this is some like communist Russia shit right here. Yeah, okay, we'll call it.
Okay, all right. Let me stop my share real quick. Okay, now you're seeing our faces. Yeah. All right. Do you wanna do the first part of the intro, or you just wanna?
Yeah. So I mean, I think we had a good time today. We were just kind of having a lighthearted discussion about, what sort of level of duty does society have towards its constituents, and how can America better I guess avoid the tragedy of the commons issues while remaining capitalist and remaining in a more or less free market economy.
Yeah, this was a fun one. I think this is just kind of like the stuff we usually do. Like we just talk about things that we're not qualified to talk about but are fun to talk about. So
yeah, definitely,
it's always fun.
And good luck to exams to everyone out there.
yeah, thank you. Actually, that was really I'll hop on that train as well. Good luck to everyone watching this who has exams,
because exams suck, dude.
Yeah. And okay, I guess I'll just close it out then.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you had anything else to say.
I'm all done.
Yeah, this is a different outro. I did enjoy today's though a lot. It was fun and chill.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a nice exam. I didn't want to talk about anything super serious today.
Yeah.
So have you had an exam so far? Or you have you started?
No, yet? I think both of us have all ours next week.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's correct. I've got my first one on Saturday actually, which is really gross.
It's not gonna be. It'll be over soon. We'll be in summer. True.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's really funny during exam season. I stopped getting stressed out because the number of shits I give about doing well on my exams is rapidly outpaced by my excitement to be done. I'd be really stressed, but then I'm I really just don't care. I just want to finish.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny.
Well, anyway, I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna close it out for the podcast watchers real quick. So Man, I'm forgetting my own script. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to grab your diamond sword and absolutely smash that like button on our today's episode. And if you like what you heard today, I know it was a bit of a different episode, but if you usually like what you hear, please make sure to hit that subscribe button, notification bell. That way, every time we post a video on Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m., you get a notification. You can just click on it. It takes you straight to the video, and you can enjoy it in the background while you cook, clean, drive, or whatever. And with that, we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
See you next time.